Alright, so the very first figure we're going to be reviewing today on this edition of Who's Lucy is none other than Rebel Leader He-Man from the Super 7 Masters of the Universe William Stout collection, and this is representing Dolph Lundgren's character in Masters of the Universe, made by Canon Films, a much talked about movie in the franchise in and of itself, regardless of all of the different cartoons and movies and whatnot. For this franchise has been looked down upon, much to the debate a lot of the fans. For me, I pretty much loved the movie when I was a kid. I still do, but and I'll go over why it's part of the William Stout collection and all that. But the next one we're also going to be reviewing is from one of the most recent series of the Mattel's line of Masters of the Universe. This is going to be Barbarian He-Man, and I actually picked this up at one of the toy hunt videos that you've probably seen before, so I'll go into more detail of that. But yeah, so definitely we're going to go over in depth of these figures, so let's get started. Alright, so one of the first figures that I'm going to be going over today through the Who's Lucy is going to be Barbarian He-Man. This is through Mattel, and this is one of the variations of He-Man through the new Netflix show of the Masters of the Universe Revelation that was created by Kevin Smith. And of course he has the kind of helmets that makes him look like a barbarian, the gauntlets, and he's got his shoulder pads, the sword, of course, and of course he's got this little mini sword that he's got on the side here if he needs to get dirty. I actually, if you remember, I got this off of the toy hunt that I did at Vortex Video Games that's in locally in I believe it's in Latham, New York, in the Capital District in near Albany. But I need to go back to that place because there was some stuff that I wanted that they have. I mean, their prices are not that competitive to me, and that's just my own opinion. I'm sure other people think that they're good pricing. I was kind of like really kind of bummed the last time that I went because I wanted to get that Masters of the WWE Universe Bray Wyatt that they had, and I didn't get it at the time that I got this figure. But the articulation is very good, as far as like almost looks like an Ultimate figure. It's got some articulation, pinless joints on the elbows, and of course on the wrist you can change, move his hands, clockwise, and of course the sword that always turns him into He-Man. I never remember seeing in the old series in the 80s of him turning into like Barbarian He-Man. I know there was a faker He-Man that Skeletor would make that looks like him but on different colors. But I liked them. I mean, I got it pretty neat. Didn't have any other accessories when I got it from Vortex Video Games. They're pretty good about getting, your accessories. I got some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles sports figures from there as well. And I think I got it on the same time that I got this figure there too. I got to go back and look at it. But the Netflix show got a lot of heat for kind of like the deep fake of that, the fact that the He-Man wasn't around, or basically he wasn't the main focus of the show, and he was seen here and there, and he got his powers taken away, spoiler alert. But a lot of people kind of crapped on that show. I actually got to finish it. I only watched the first season. One of the things that I have to work on to see which one's going to be the best as far as like getting him a stand. The one that I'm using kind of right now as I'm just reviewing the figure is one of the ones that you would get off of the DC Multiverse figures. This was actually the one that I used for Batman, but even then it wouldn't stand up with the stand. So I actually had to get a different stand that actually holds it from the waist and down on the bottom. It doesn't have a peg on the bottom, but this is actually going to be going into my other part. My Masters of the Universe collection is quite extensive. It's, let's see, 1, 2, 3, and I got 4 spaces of my collection that have the Masters of the Universe figures on it. Most of the ones that I have are from the actual like 80s figure style that they were re-releasing on Walmart exclusive, plus the Masters of the WWE Universe. I have them all mixed together, and I think I have one of the Primal Age DC ones that basically they were trying to make it look like the old Masters of the Universe figures as well. So this is actually part of the newer collection or newer space that I have as far as like the real estate that I'm actually trying to get for my Masters of the Universe line, along with God Skeletor, regular Skeletor, and Tila. Of course, I have the He-Man that came out, the first one that came out for the He-Man Revelation, or Masters of the Universe Revelation. And so yeah, so we're going to go to the next one, which is I'm very excited because this is one of the figures that I wanted for so long. Ever since I started collecting, this is one of the figures that I wanted so bad. So let's go to the next one. All right, so without further ado, the last figure we're going to be reviewing today on Who's Lucy is none other than the Rebel Leader He-Man from the Masters of the Universe William Stout collection, made by Mattel. And actually, no, this was actually made by Super 7. My apologies. The Mattel had some other ones that they did that almost kind of look like Ultimate figures like this, but this is actually part of the William Stout collection. And the reason why they call the William Stout collection is because, as you can see, the face sculpture of He-Man, it's supposed to be Dolph Lundgren, so you can see here, but it actually doesn't look like Dolph Lundgren, as you can see. So the reason why that is because they didn't have the license to be able to use Dolph Lundgren's likeness. So they had to go off of the actual drawings of William Stout, who did all the drawings for the movie, and that's basically what they based the figure off of. Now, they just re-released the Masterverse of the Master of the Universe He-Man line, and it looks just like, as far as the body is concerned, but the face actually looks like the regular He-Man, and I'll show you a picture of what it looks like here. Obviously way different in height, as far as scale is concerned, and of course the face sculpture is not the Rebel Leader like you see here. Now, the movie that this is basically based on, the drawings of, was like Canon Films kind of like last hurrah before they went out of business, because they owed so much back pay, because a lot of the films that they were doing weren't doing that great at the box office, and then so Masters of the Universe was kind of like their last hurrah to kind of make millions and millions and billions if because a lot of movies weren't making billions back then. There were millions, but they owed a lot, and they didn't really do that well in the box office. So unfortunately, Canon went out of business. They didn't really actually do a lot of marketing for, as far as like the figures are concerned. Now you can see here, these are some of the figures that came out of the actual film itself from Mattel, but obviously they weren't really as accurate to the film as it was. They were trying to keep it close to the actual regular line from the cartoon, because they knew that a lot of people weren't really happy about the movie. I personally love the movie. It's one of my favorites, kind of my guilty pleasures. I've always liked it from when I was a kid, and I still like it to this day. A lot of people have a love-hate relationship with it. Some people liked it. A lot of them hated it. There's supposed to be a new Masters of the Universe live-action film coming out, but it's just been like in production like hell, and production limbo rather, where like it's been greenlit, but they haven't really done anything, and then no scripts have been submitted that were any good, and so it's kind of like in production limbo, where it's been greenlit, but nobody's doing anything about it as far as like to start the production. You got to have a script before you can say, okay, we're going to make a movie. The Rebel Leader He-Man has quite a few weapons here. He's got a couple of daggers here in his holster. He also has a blaster. That was one of the reasons that a lot of people hated the film, because they were using blasters like Star Wars. But of course, he has the sword, power sword, and he has a cape. And that was another thing too. Is like, he didn't have a cape in the series, but they were trying to make it a little different from the actual series itself and make it a little bit more grand. But Rebel Leader He-Man is the best. He's got his like little shoulder pads here that holds, and he even has a sheath in the back so you can hold the the sword there too. But I pretty much just love this whole thing. This is one of my goal figures. I still need to get Skeletor and God Skeletor, but these are one of the figures that I really, really wanted ever since I started collecting back into 2019. Like, that was like, I need this figure. I never got a chance to get it. I got this loose. It was like $100. That was the easiest like $100 I spent, because a lot of the ones that I've seen, even loose, they were like asking for like $200. I wanted mints on card so I can, unbox it. But I was like, you know what? It's been, almost 3 years by the time I got this. And I was like, $100 is not that bad. I make sure, spend my money wisely. But, it was one of the figures that I really, really wanted ever since I started collecting, like I mentioned before. And I can't stop looking at it. Every day I just look at it, I hold it in my hand, and just can't believe that I actually have it in my collection. I'm still looking for the actual Williams style collection in mint on card. So I can unbox it, but time will tell. Anywho, thank you so very much, you guys, for being with us for another Who's Lucy, brought to you by J&J Toy Giants. Again, I'm your host, JD. Be sure to like and subscribe, and also comment on any of our video submissions on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and follow us on TikTok. Also follow us on Twitch, and we're going to be doing a lot more Twitch streams as well. But thank you so very much, and also make sure you hit that notification bell so you know of all the new notifications that come to you when we have new content for you guys. We do appreciate your success, or our success, but we can't do it without you guys. So thank you for being such great fans and supporters of the YouTube channel. Thank you so very much, and you keep on cruising. Peace out.